If you want to learn the shoulder stand, but you don't know how to begin or you're scared of falling, you came to the right video. My name is Yasir, and my mission is to show how anybody can move with rings and unlock new skills if you have the right guidance. So today you're going to go from here all the way to unlocking your very first shoulder stand. Let's begin. So we're going to begin with one of the most basic positions on the rings, the ring plank. So place the rings and get into a plank. And this is going to be your first introduction into stabilizing yourself on the rings. In this case, you're going to be on a horizontal plane. And just put the rings higher or lower, depending on your level. The lower they are, the longer the strap, the more instability. So just get used to this position, and that will be step one. The second step is going to make that static position into a dynamic one, which from the ring plank, we would go into a push-up. Again, if this is too much, you have two options: either raise the rings or take a step forward and do them from here. If not, you go here. Just aim to keep a straight body line. Some posterior pelvic tilt helps here to keep the whole body line connected, and a scapular protraction on the top. And practice this one to increase your strength before we go to step 3. Up next, we have pike push-ups, and we're getting closer and closer to that shoulder stand position. We're gonna get into a pike position and lower the head, aiming to create this triangle shape, which you probably saw on the Classic Rings 90-day program, which you can access 2 weeks for free. That's an excellent program to build a solid foundation for all these skills. So you would have covered all of these first steps already. So getting back to the pike, make sure that in the bottom position, your grip is neutral and not prone. You don't want to be flaring your elbows like this. You want to have your triceps sitting in your lats, and that's what's going to give you leverage. So you're not holding the position here or here, but actually sitting here, which is going to make the position way easier. So once you've got your pike push-ups down, it's time to test the bottom position by lowering down. Remember, you want to be sitting in your triceps, grip in neutral, tuck, lift one leg, see what happens when you lift the other. You might swing back and slowly start to test out how this position feels. And notice how there is a slight bend of the rings inside, which is merely to increase the stability of them. And it's okay to use it, why not? Just be aware of it, that you're going with the rings towards inside, and that's fine. And aim to hold this position, and remember that time under tension is information for the body. So don't view it as this tense or time of struggling, but rather a time where you're getting information. And essentially, this is the position that you want to spend the most time in, because it's the one that resembles the most the final version of the skill that you want to unlock. Now, I also wanted to address this fear of rolling forward and smashing your back with the floor. Says you want to keep your hips high, but not too much, or not so much that they roll forward. So you might have the tendency to undershoot because of that fear. Now, worst case scenario happens, you overshoot the hips. How do you save yourself? So first of all, place a cushion, a pillow, or something that you can fall safely on. And then, as you're going up, you could spread the legs, and that's gonna stop the fall. It's safe, it's easy, and it's effective. So as you're practicing this tuck shoulder stand from the floor, you wanna be practicing in parallel the top support, which is the position that you're gonna be in when you get into that full shoulder stand. So as soon as you get your ring plank on check, begin to work on the top support all the way to the RTO, because it's gonna be so useful for other skills. Now let's say that you have a solid top support, 30 seconds, it's so easy for you. Now you can begin practicing the raise into the tuck. Lower down with control, and you can begin to rep these out or just rest and get into it from here. Calibrating What's the point of balance? Am I underbalancing? Am I overbalancing? What would happen if I were to overbalance with this height? Also put yourself into that scenario and notice that in this case, the bar is lower, so I can stop myself with my legs. Just like we did with the straddle on the straps. On this case, we have the bar. Say that I overbalance, whoop, I can stop myself here. And in fact, I can use it to my advantage to get a feeling of what it will be like to be fully extended. And now the natural progression is that we go from tug into a straddle hold, which you've already done somewhat to save yourself from falling. But in this case, we're gonna do it so it looks good and it's graceful and it's intentional, which is the most important thing. So tuck, we raise into a tuck and we extend legs. If that's too much, we get back to tuck, extend, and we get down. We accumulate some time in that straddle position, and then you know what's coming next. When the straddle hold is on check, then you get into the tuck and shoot from tuck to extended. If you overshoot, stop yourself, get back down, hold, and that's the natural progression from tuck to straddle to full. Now we have a missing step here, is how do we enter into these positions? There are many entries into the shoulder stand, and today we're going to be covering 3, one of which you already know is to raise from a tuck position and getting into the full shoulder stand. The second one is to raise in a straddle position, ending up into the full one. And the third one is to raise with legs fully extended from this pike position into the full shoulder stand. And what's so nice about this variation is that it goes so well with the forward roll. It's like these two are meant to be together. So there you have it. Hopefully you unlock your very first shoulder stand. Love to see that. And until next time, practice goes on. Much love, family.